Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since we did a 6.5 Grendel reloading video, and I've had this Accurate 2520 powder for quite a bit here, and I've never shot anything with it. So today we're going to do a test with the 6.5 Grendel and Accurate 2520. I want to use two different bullets today. The first bullet is one that we know shoots really well for us. It is the 120 grain ELD M. The second one is one that hasn't done so well for accuracy, but that has a pretty good terminal performance, and that's the Spear Gold Dot. The reason I'm choosing this bullet is because Accurate 2520 is supposed to get some of the best velocities that you can get in 6.5 Grendel. And since this is my hunting bullet, and high velocities and good bullets go well together for hunting, that is what we're going to go with. Primers are CCI 450s, once fired Starline brass that has already been prepped and primed. Standard process there, bump the shoulders back 2000s. Since we have already gotten the primers in, we're going to go ahead and jump straight to powder weighing. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way here. Oh, I suppose I should talk about load data for today. With the ELDM, it's pretty straightforward. Hornady has a listed max of 29.1 grains, so we're going to go up to that and down in 0.3 of a grain increments, of course, working in the up direction. For the Spear Gold Dot, it is not so straightforward. I've not been able to find any load data for Accurate 2520 and the Spear Gold Dot. What I've found for the last couple of powders that I've shot is that we're pretty close. Now, people have commented on my videos, and I know this. Spear recommends a way lower charge weight for most powders than for other similar weight bullets. I've found Spear's data to be way, way low, even for the velocities that they quote on their powder charges. They shoot just fine out of my gun at 27.2 grains of AR comp, which is the same weight or in the same range of charge weights that I shoot for the 120 and 123 grain ELDs. With that being said, I'm not extremely familiar with this powder. So I'm going to shoot this string with the 120 grain ELDMs first to kind of get an idea how this powder behaves. I have gone ahead and written out charge weights for the Gold Dot, and I'm going to go ahead and load them. They are starting out about... We're starting out 0.6 of a grain lower than our starting charge with the ELD, just because I want to give us a little extra room. Hornady is quoting this in the 2,300 feet per second area with this charge and 120 grain bullets, and that seems to be about what the Spear data likes to run the Gold Dot at. So we're going to start down there and work up to 28.5 grains, unless we see pressure somewhere in between. With that being said, all of those groups with the Gold Dot I'm going to be extremely careful with, looking for pressure signs from the very first shot and checking with every group to make sure we're not getting excessive pressure. Just because just on a little bit on the nervous side, since there is no data that I can find with Accurate 2520. All right, I think I've got that out of the way. So now let's get to loading. Dump some powder in our dish here. This is a spherical powder, and it looks very similar to H335. I'm going to go ahead and load up for one bullet before I switch to the other, just to keep from getting confused here. Let me put my scale in non-auto off mode. All right, let's try this 1.6 cc Lee scoop and see where an even scoop gets us. We're shooting for 27.9 grains, I believe. Yes. Let me flip back to my load page. Okay, that gets us to 25 grains. Let me jump up in scoop size to the 1.9. Yeah, this may throw a little heavy, but we'll see. That's 29.7 grains, yeah. All right, I think I have an idea of about where I need to hold that powder measure to scoop. Get our trickler set up, and I emptied all of the H4350 out of it from my loading earlier today. Let me put a couple scoops in the trickler. This Frankfurt Arsenal trickler has quite a large capacity in there. I put 3 or 4 scoops in there, and it's just barely up there. I'm not going to need near that much, so we're not gonna put anything else. All right, let me get this primed, which of course takes forever and a day. There, we're starting to throw some powder. All right, 27.9 grains. Double check that. Yes, 27.9. Not a great case fill on that, but we'll see what we get when we move up in charge. I love it when I throw within 2/10. Makes life a lot easier. Okay. Kind of a low case fill there. Let me jump up to the last row and fill one at the 29.1 grain mark. And see what that looks like for case fill. All right, 29.1 grains there. Yep. All right, not great case fill on that one either. Let me see if I can show you. Maybe you can see that there. Anyway, we're right down about the base of the shoulder or so, maybe just a tad bit below that. Anyway, so not great case fill on that one. All right, so nothing to see here really. I'm just gonna go ahead and load up the rest of these powder charges and seat bullets. We've already seated bullets, both of these bullets, in 6.5 Grendel cases. So this is really probably all I will show you of the reloading process. We will just jump right on out here to the range. Hey everybody, we're out here on the range testing our Accurate 2520 workup in 6.5 Grendel. I've got my 6.5 Grendel AR here. Nothing has really changed on it. Nothing at all, actually. Trigger's the same, CMC. We got the Vortex Viper HST 6-24x50. Like this scope a whole lot. It's been working out real well. We do still not have a rifle stock on here. That and maybe changing the buffer is about the last thing I want to do. Right now, running a standard carbine buffer, I believe. Got a 20-inch ballistic advantage barrel. So let's see how this shoots. I have taken a viewer's suggestion and marked my charge weights on the first cartridge in each load. So this is 27.9 grains of Accurate 2520. Get my hearing protection in here, and we'll start to shooting. Really interested to see what kind of velocities we get with this powder. We're going to start out with the 120 grain ELDM first, and I'm going to actually shoot all of the loads with the ELDM before I move on to the Spirit Gold Dot. The reason for that is the jacket constructions are so much different between the two bullets that I'm afraid if we go back and forth from bullet to bullet, switching each group, we'll get some inconsistencies in the barrel from the different jackets. So that may or may not be the case, but just to be on the safe side, we're going to shoot all of the ELDM groups first, and then we'll switch to the Spirit Gold Dot. Target is at 100 yards. Gun is sighted in. It's had 4 shots through it. Not really warm at all. That was 10 minutes ago. So we should be in a good spot on the paper. Let's get shooting. And we locked the bolt back. Let me take a look at the brass here. Just a tiny little ejector spot on the brass, which is what we always get with this gun. Not worried about that at all. That first group was not too great. Yeah, not too great of a group there. And our velocity is still pretty low. Looking like in the 2280 feet per second range. Be interesting to see how the velocities climb here. So let's go ahead and load up and shoot the next group. This will be 28.2 grains. Well, heck yeah for the accuracy on that group. Good grief, that's tiny. I bet that's a 0.4 or better. That is crazy good. Let me take a look at our chronograph numbers and see what they said. Well, we're sitting right about 2,300 feet per second, which is really low. A whole lot lower than I expected. And the standard deviation is 11, so not great, but not terrible either. Right in line with what I've been getting with the other powders. Before I shoot the next group, I'm going to go ahead and come up 1 minute on the scope, try to get that more into our target area and not drop down on the targets below it too much. Let me give the gun just a minute to cool down. I'll take a look at the brass from that round. Brass is fine, nothing at all to worry about. We will continue on to 28.5 grains. Holy cow! Well, I'm kicking myself for not trying this powder sooner. Though our velocities are still pretty low, looks like 23-25. These are the best groups I've ever shot with this gun. Well, if I ever shoot AR bench rest again, if they ever bring the competition back here to the range, I'll definitely shoot in it again, and this might be my load. I'm pretty sure it would be, in fact. Next group will be 28.8 grains. Well, the group opened up a tiny bit there, but not bad at all. Still nothing to report on the brass. Our velocity did jump up by 50 feet per second with that load. But it's still quite a bit lower than I expected it to be. We're at 2375 on our average with a standard deviation of 12. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this load, even though we had that velocity bump. I'll look at the chronograph and the brass after the first shot of this group and just make sure we're not getting anything crazy. This will be 29.1 grains. See if we can shoot another one-holer. All right, let me hunt down that piece of brass. We're at 2383 on the velocity. Not a big jump at all, only 10 feet per second over the last one. And the brass looks absolutely perfect. So not worrying about this at all. Let's go ahead and shoot the rest of the group. All right, not bad at all. I think I may have pulled that shot that was a flyer a little bit. Not 100% sure though, so I'm not gonna say. But anyway, not a bad way to finish things off. Let me look at the velocity here. So we got a standard deviation of 10 on that one, and an average velocity right at 2,400 feet per second. Without seeing anything on the brass, not seeing even as much normal marking on the brass as I normally see, I think we can go up in the charge weight with accurate 2520, and maybe we'll hit another accuracy note in here. I did notice a little bit of point of impact shift in this last group, actually substantial. We're looking at, maybe we're only up a half MOA, but that's still significant. So I'm wondering if the next group or two we'd settle out. So that's probably something we'll come back to. We've got a couple pounds of this powder and plenty of these bullets, so that might be the next thing to test. I'm gonna give the gun just a few minutes here. I'll go change targets and we'll start shooting the stuff with the Spear Gold Dot. All right, we're back here at the bench looking over our targets. And the first thing that's gonna draw your eye, hopefully, are these two outstanding groups of 0.47 and 0.42. The other ones, not so great, but this is on the low end, and these aren't too bad. This one, as I said, I think I probably pulled that shot, but not that much. These groups definitely are opening up, but not too bad. What we did miss by a long shot was the velocity target. Hornady was quoting, let me see here, out of an 18-inch barrel, they're quoting 2,450 feet per second with 29.1 grains of accurate 2520. We shot 29.1 grains, and our maximum was 2397 for an average for that last group. So 50 feet per second shy of the target, and our barrel is 2 inches longer. We've got a 20-inch barrel. So I know that we can push this. I would like to take this up another couple of charge weights and see if we hit another accuracy node where our extreme spreads and standard deviations stay decent, and they actually have been pretty decent for a ball powder, and maybe that group shrinks back up a little bit. I lost all of the range footage for shooting the Spear Gold Dots. You'll notice there's only 3 groups. We started out with a super low velocity down here with 27.3 grains, and 2172 was our velocity. Way, way, way low. So I decided we were definitely safe to skip a load. So I skipped one, shot another ugly group at 1.17 inches and 2,200 feet per second. Skipped another one and shot the maximum charge. We had an inch group, not too shabby, still not great, at 2,259 feet per second. Good extreme spread and standard deviation, actually excellent on that. So this is another one that I think that we need to push up. And that's the reason this video definitely needs a part 2. Not necessarily for the Spear Gold Dot, because we already have a decently accurate load about the same as this, shooting in that 2,420 feet per second range, which I think is about where we're going to get to with this anyway. So we really don't need to keep this up. What I would like to bump up is this, and see if we can get this accuracy again with this powder at a little higher velocity. So that may be coming if we do a part 2 on this. Anyway, I'm always happy with groups that small. These are the best groups the gun has ever shot. So that is always nice. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram. Most importantly right now, if you guys would please jump over to Patreon. There's a link on my YouTube page. You can also go to it directly. It is the Outdoor Generalist channel on Patreon. We could really use some support. I would really like to be able to do these videos a little more regularly, but the costs of components are simply too high. So I'm doing the most that I can right now with the budget that I have. So again, thank you all for watching and have a good one.